Hello, lovely people. How you doing? And in this video, we're going to explain the origin, the secret origin that you will not find anywhere else, of the Russian people. What Russian actually means, where the Hungarians come from, where they really come from, how the Hungarian state was established, and the origin of the Polish state as well, all in the Teutoberg forest. And you're going to say, Charlie, what are you talking about? But we're going to prove it as we always do. We prove things. And some of you are going to say, Charlie, you never prove anything. You just give your unfounded speculation. Guys, this is not Wikipedia. And this is where I need to diverge into a rant. I have been getting abusers every day since I started this channel 4 years ago. Someone has abused me in a comment or online or on Twitter or whatever, right? And that's fine, because this is, to me, what I want to do. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm doing this for my own entertainment. Another YouTuber called me a shill. He says I'm doing it for the money. If this pitiful money is some kind of reward for saying what I want, which is the truth, which is truth that you won't find on Wikipedia or anywhere else, but it's something that's very important to me, the actual truth behind everything. If that makes me a shill to take money from Google, then I'm happy to call myself that, but I'm not that. Abusers say, hey, Charlie, why are you talking about outer space or things like that? I'm unsubscribing because you've got your crazy black holes theory and all this. Guys, again, I want the truth, and I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about on my own damn channel, because this is a hobby and not a business to me. If this was a business, I'd be very worried indeed. I'd make sure I had the best videos possible. They'd follow Wikipedia exactly. There wouldn't be any weird, anomalous information in there. But that's not why you're watching. You're watching because there's cool, new, amazing information on here that you can't get anywhere else. The stuff I'm going to tell you in this video is blowing my own mind. It's unbelievable. We've been lied to. There's so many lies out there. This channel's just a hobby for me. If it went away, whatever. People say, oh, I'm unsubscribing. Guys, 4 years ago, I had 0 subscribers. Do you think with 47,000 subscribers, I'm 47,000 times happier? Of course not. Don't be silly. I was a very happy bloke 4 years ago. I'd love to go back to 4 years ago. I started this channel to push a theory saying the layout at Giza, 3 pyramids, corresponds to Maria Gambuta's anthropological assertion that old Europe venerated a triple goddess. And I've had 0 academic support for that, but I think it's absolutely true. I think the pyramids are even older than that, and the triple goddess may have originated out of Giza, out of the layout of Giza. Anyway, to this video, rant over. So abusers, get lost. I don't need you. Okay, I don't need you at all. This is I'm doing this for my enjoyment and fun now, and for your fun as well. Now, to the video. We have established that tribes in the Marcomanni tribes, who were before the Marcomanni Wars against Hadrian, they were the people who were responsible for the Teutoberg forest massacre. And by the way, I'm not recording this on Soviet potato. I'm recording this. This is a brand new Asus laptop. But the people in the Teutoberg forest, many of them seem to have been Slavs, the Suevi. We've established that, and we're going to prove that again in this video. And this is where the Russians originate. This is where the Hungarians originate. And this is also where the Poles originate. Someone in one of those prior videos told me, is the Polish flag it's an eagle with a crown on its head. Is it a captured Roman standard from the Teutoberg forest? And if you look at it, the Roman standards, they actually had a kind of crown, a laurel wreath on their eagle, which actually bound up its wings. And the Polish eagle has a crown on its head. If you look at the name of the tribe, one of the tribe which was responsible for the massacre of the 3 Roman legions, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, numbers which were never used again in ancient Rome, you see they're called the Cheruski. And they say, does this mean sword in Germanic? Does it mean this? Does it mean that? Guys, if Cheruski is not a Slavic word, then I don't know. Then I must be Mickey Mouse. This is the Russian. Literally, wait for it. I believe this means the Russians. In Polish, and we've used Polish before. We've looked at that Czech paper to show that there are many Indo-European words in the Slav languages, because where the Indo-Europeans originate, it's where medicine originates, where alchemy originates. We've proven that. I can go even further. I will go further, but in Polish, "j" is that. It's not a CH, it's just a "j", a Z, or it's a JE, a J, them, it. And Ruski is Russians. But what does the root mean? Now, people have said Rus means the red-headed ones or the red ones. No. No, in Polish, ruda is redhead. Ruddy in English. It's in English as well. It's ruddy. It's a different root. We are looking at Rus. And this word is so interesting because Rus means reason. It means rush. It means talk. It means all of these. These are the reasonable people, the talkers and the movers. We know from ancient sources that a certain portion of Germania were nomadic. These people were known as the Swerbi or Swavi, as I've said in a previous video. Rosum means brain in Polish. Now we have Richard Dawkins, who I love to pick on, and he always he wins debates by sneering at people and saying, no, because reason. He's not aware that reason just means brain. Of course, reason to him is what makes sense to him and to no one else, possibly. Now, if we look at the root of Ros, I was unable to find anything related to red-headed or the red skin or whatever, or a ruddy complexion. No, it means the people who rush around, Russians. And it also means people who talk, rozmowy, the talkers, as opposed to the Germans, the Niemcy. Niemcy means those who don't talk in an intelligible language. So we have the talkers, the Russians, versus the non-talkers. And in addition, we have it is so interesting. Rosum means brain, and this I could go on and on and on about this root. Rusach means move, touch. And all these are based on moving things around. And we can look at the Slav version of solve versus the Latin version of solve. They actually mean two different things. They're two different ways of saying I've solved something. Now, and this is so interesting. In Russian, solve actually means... it's actually it's hard to pronounce, guys, but rozwiązać or rozpuścić in Polish, rozpuścić. And that means shake. I pick something up and I shake it, I move it around, and that's how I solve it. That's the Russian way of solving something. Pick up the Nazis and shake them around, batter them with hundreds of millions of tanks and all this. In Latin, they're so much more subtle and Roman. For them, and this is so interesting, solve means dissolve, put it into solution. But that, of course, implies it means disappear. So, to the Romans, how do we solve this problem is, how do we make him disappear? Bit of poison, maybe. That's how they would do something like that. So, I believe these Cheruski, the Russians, as you will see on the map, originate around the Teutoberg forest. I think they might have been pushed to the east by the Germans. In the early Polish chronicles, it says the Slavs under King Lech stayed where they were. And where they were is kind of where Poland is, a bit more to the west. The Rus decided to go east, so they started in the west, they went east. That fits. And the Czechs went south. That kind of fits. Interesting. We have another... And it's really interesting. If you look at this route, the Russians are therefore the reasonable people. They are the people who rush around, who move with that route. Ruszać, the people who move. They're the nomadic Germans. That fits perfectly with what we know about history. In World War II, of course, they were quite reasonable because they understood very well that quantity and speed beats quality, that the Germans were sacrificing all the time in the world to get their tanks up to speed to beat the Russians, but no, it just didn't work that way. Now, we have another tribe called the Chamavi, and this CH, it's not found in ancient times, but we see it written down. So, the Chamavi were another German tribe. It occurs to me, Cham. Does Cham sound familiar to you? Ancient Egypt, Cham, the land of Cam, Chem, Ham, Hamites. These people made chemistry. But of course, what's very interesting is that this is a Slav word, ziemia. Now, in Egyptian, it means black soil. Ziemia in Polish, ziem. I'm using a Z instead of a CH. Ziemia means soil, thus soil. So we see automatically that ancient Egypt is based on an Indo-European word. Very interesting. This is so amazing. Getting back to the Russians, if the Russians were the Cheruski and they invaded the Roman Empire, suddenly we would have French words to describe them, such as, I believe, rogues. These rogues. Or rotten people. That's what they're rottens. So suddenly rotten and rogue relates to these Ruski. And this is so interesting. Now, solve in Russian is shake, as I said. So in Polish is shake. So hence, this is also an English word as well. You can solve something by rotating it. Rotate. So the people who rotate are the rotten ones if they invaded the Roman Empire. So you're rotating the Rubik's Cube is a way to solve it, to move it. That's just so interesting. Now let's talk about the Hungarians. This is so good. So I found just a fascinating tribe, and they are known as the Angrivari, or the angry ones. So we have Vandal Germans, and we have these angry Germans, the Angrivari, also known as literally the angry. This is fascinating. It implies a tribe of angry people, and these people attacked the Romans at the Teutoberg forest. And what's fascinating here is Angrivari sounds like Hungary. And if you look up Hungary, you see no mention of the Angrivari. Instead, it's the Magyars. Magyar is not Angrivari. Angrivari is closer to Hungary than Magyar. So what's going on? Well, it says there's the Greeks called the Hungarians the Hunnougours, or the descendants of the Hun lords. And people from the Urals, where they presume the Magyars are from, are known as the Ugras, according to Herodotus, the Ugras. I'm sorry, but Ugra and Hunnougour don't fit the name Hungary. They're close, very close, but I prefer Angrivari. The Angrivari vanished after the time of Tacitus in the 1st century. We don't know what happened to them. They may have been absorbed into another tribe. They may have founded modern Hungary. What do you think of that?